Call the Owatonna City Council meeting to order for February 3rd. May we have roll call, please?
Councilmember Schultz.
Here.
Burbank.
Here.
Rainey.
Here.
Spenby.
Here.
Dotson.
Here.
Okerberg.
Here.
Abraham.
Here.
We have all 7 of the council and the mayor.
Here. Thank you.
All right.
May we please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, and would like to welcome everyone to our council meeting tonight. And with that, we would ask for approval of the agenda. There are no changes that I know of.
We do have that one notation on that address of Bumps Bar. It is 215.
Yes, it's 215 versus 285. So with that being noted, what is the council's wish?
Approve as noted.
We have a motion by Brett Svenby to approve as noted. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Greg Schultz. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This has been approved. Moving on to public hearing, and we will start with 1.3.1, proposed improvement number 1500, 2015 street and utility projects, and we'll go to Kyle.
Good evening. This is the project we delivered the feasibility report at the last meeting. A neighborhood meeting was held on last Tuesday, the 27th of January. There were a number of people in attendance. Projects including 7th Avenue Northeast, a number of alleys around town, and parking lot. So that's the main focus of this project, and we're available for any questions.
Thank you, Kyle. And at 7:05, we'll open up for a public hearing to anyone in the audience wish to speak on this. Please come to the microphone and state your name.
Thomas Garman. I own property on the alley proposed to be repaved between Oakdale and 18th Street.
Thank you.
And I believe the project was initially brought forward last year, but was put off because there were concerns about traffic, heavy truck, and et cetera, garbage trucks, and wanted a chance to relook at it. Concrete was mentioned, but due to the budget, it was just tabled until this year. While I didn't really feel it was a lock that they were going to go with concrete this year, I was surprised when I seen it was bituminous. I don't know exactly how old that last overlay on that alley is. I talked to a business owner nearby who recalled about 7 years. There could be other contributing factors. I'm just guessing, and if my numbers are correct, since I'm kind of just information gathering here, that it was roughly $40 a foot for the bituminous, and is it 80 for the concrete?
That's real close.
We're going to maybe round figures. I just want to talk loosely just to try and information gather a little bit too. Well, I think it's safe to say that none of us can really predict the lifespan of either both asphalt or concrete. I feel strongly that for twice the cost of the concrete, that we would probably be getting 3 to 4 times the life with concrete as opposed to the asphalt. If I'm charged, I've got 200 feet at $40 a foot, as my math saying $8,000. I would defer that over 10 years at $8,000. I mean, and as I said last year, I'd be willing to pay twice that, the 80, for something that's going to be more, I feel, more than twice what the bituminous is. Secondly, if we have to readdress it after 10 years or sooner possibly, again, it's just a little question mark on that asterisk, what is the cost of the asphalt going to be in 10 years? So do we pay now or pay later? Or is it going to be pay now and pay later? Another thing that on a more personal note is I got my property taxes for that building up there. That went up 30%. Now, while I understand that I don't believe all property taxes are earmarked for road repair, but that difference to me is $800 a year also. Spread out over 10 years is figuring it doesn't go up again in 10 years. There's another $8,000. And my biggest concern is well, again, we can't pinpoint it, but inside even that, using that 10-year model frame, seeing the same looking alley that I'm looking out at right now and paying fairly good dollars for something in total disrepair. Personally, I feel we'd be better served, not only my tax dollars, but other tax dollars for this city involved, to roll out concrete and put it behind us instead of a possible whack-a-mole approach, if you forgive my saying so, where you knock down one project today, turn around and knock down another one, and before you know it, the other one's popped back up again. So I'm asking the city to just reconsider a little bit before we go forward on this, because I think we came to some form of agreement with an informal meeting last year that there was quite a bit of traffic up there. It's a shortcut for people that don't want to take a left out there on Cedar Oak, whatever out there, by the Taco John's, so they cut through. You've got Food Shelf, VFW, Jostens, the businesses along there. Aside from all the heavy garbage trucks that are in there, and the beer and the pop delivery trucks for those businesses along in there too. I'm just a believer of let's do it right the first time, so we don't have that slinky keeping to catch up with us as we go forward. Otherwise, we're never going to get anywhere. I think it's wise investment to go right with the concrete and put our investment into it too now. It was mentioned, I think, on an informal meeting last Tuesday, I believe. So thank you, gentlemen, that were here to hold off for us a little late, since we showed up a little late. Thank you, by the way. But it was mentioned that there's I think what might be holding the city is there's a $52 cap, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct.
And so the city maybe, in their thinking, may have been a little hesitant to say, for that $28 difference, let's just kind of put a little coating on it and call it a day. Well, that may be fine, but when I am paying the kind of dollars I feel I'll be paying, I don't want to look out at that alley in the near future and see what I'm looking at right now when I'm still paying the money.
Okay.
Very well.
Thank you.
Thank you all for your time. I'll finally put my last name to this.
Anyone else wish to speak?
I'm Steve Garman. I'm also with my brother on this property, and I won't repeat a lot of what he said, just a couple of concerns. When we're talking about, we said, well, okay, if you do this, it's guaranteed 10 years. My concern is the stuff that's been down there, the overlay, hasn't lasted 10 years. My concern would be paying taxes, and then I'm paying for a dead horse. And I know you can always come back, but it also took a mentor to get up here to get this thing even on the project. And I don't want to 10 years have to spend my energy running around getting everyone up and doing this all over again. And the concern is, of course, 10 years, who's going to be sitting here? You know, I know we're going to have the building, and I'll be faced with the same problem again. On that alley, if you sit there, it's like living in New York City on Monday. The garbage trucks, and it's just one, each one contracts privately, so I have different garbage trucks. I've got beverage trucks, I've got food trucks, I've got the liquor store making five-wheel turns that actually come up on our property. And so my concern is that just that it be done right, so we don't have to look at this down the road. And I will reiterate the point, our taxes went up 30% on that property this year, and that was quite a bit. I do expect something for that 30%. I know it's earmarked, like I said, for everything else, but it's also for infrastructure. And you don't see a loading dock in town, because that's what that is back there, done with tar.
Thank you. Question, Steve, have you talked to any of the other neighbors? And
You know, there's been such a change. My understanding of property owners now who bought the building next door, these are all renters. The renters will have a different opinion than a property owner would. And my understanding is most of the buildings in front of us have been changed. So and that I just found out recently. Salvation Army's been represented, and then Steve's out of, each has got their own opinion. I just know that with the large frontage in front of ours that I'm concerned about it, because what also happens is when you see what that is right now, what happens is the traffic, because the road is so bad, come up on our concrete apron, because our apron was done in concrete and was done right. But they do come up on that, and we have to put little poles, otherwise somebody's going to get hit when they come out of there.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else wish to speak on this?
Yeah, hi, my name's Abraham Casper. I just have a couple questions on the 7th Avenue Northeast.
Okay.
Are they planning on repaving the entire street, or are they taking off just the top layer and redoing it? Will there be access to the houses at any given point in the day? And I guess my main concern is whether or not we can get vehicles in and out of the house during the day.
It's a full width mill. So we're not taking the entire asphalt surface off. We are reshaping what's there. It's been overlaid a number of times in the past, and we just can't overlay it again.
Right.
So that's for all the way from Mineral Springs Road to 26th Street. So daily access will be maintained. There may be a few hours here and there where you won't be able to get into your property. However, between 13th and 14th, the Public Utilities has requested us to replace the water main. So that one block section is going to have more disturbance than the other portion.
Right. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak on this? Seeing none, we'll look for a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Got one by Kevin, motion by Kevin, second by
I'll second it.
Nate. Any further discussion there? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Now it is the council's turn to speak on these issues. What is the council's comments or wishes?
Well, I guess I would just ask Kyle about the concrete in the alleyway there. Is it realistic to assume that we would get more than double the life
Well,
of that alleyway?
based on our assessment policy, bituminous, and I'm going from memory, I don't have it in front of me, is 20 years. So if you're assessed for a bituminous project, you get a 20-year reprieve from the next assessment. And I believe concrete's set at 40 years. So it's double. We understand the concerns, and there are a lot of beer trucks, there are a lot of garbage trucks through traffic using this alley. Our typical alley section is 3 inches of bituminous. We beefed this up to 4 inches of bituminous. Rough numbers, it was for the 4 inches of bituminous is about, for the property owner's share, about $40 a foot, and as Tom mentioned, $80 a foot for concrete. So with the $52 cap, that increased cost of concrete falls on the city, essentially. The property owners would go up $12 a foot, and we would cover the $28 plus our half. So the portion paid by the city would be considerably more, and that's why we recommended the bituminous in the feasibility report.
And over the life of that surface, given the higher weight vehicles that are traveling on that, what's our maintenance like on a concrete surface like that versus a bituminous?
Life cycle costs of bituminous are typically less because the upfront costs are less. But once you get the concrete down, you have very little maintenance on those streets. If you look at Elm or Cedar, that are concrete streets, we don't have a lot of maintenance. Ongoing maintenance like seal coating or crack sealing or items like that.
Okay.
On this alley, are we looking at like an overlay, or are you looking at